Well, the G1 climax is now getting closer and closer to the end, so we're going to find out who most likely will be eliminated out of the G1 and who will be advancing, but also some surprises that took place during the G1. So, all of that will be discussed and reviewed on this episode of Deleted WrestleZone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted WrestleZone, all things pro wrestling from AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, many promotions, wrestlers, matches, championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. First things first, before I move on, I want to give a special congratulations to Ring of Honor star Flip Gordon. So if you guys don't know who Flip Gordon is, you guys are missing out. He is a guy who has been on Being the Elite on a few times a long time ago. He was one of those wrestlers that the Bucks put over many times, and of course he's currently with the villainous faction known as the Villain Enterprises. So it's just been announced today that he proposed to his girlfriend Brittany. Congratulations to both. Hope you guys are happy, and we're excited for you guys. If you guys don't know this, Brittany actually appeared in one of Flip Gordon's matches where he was in an I Quit match against Bully Ray. So that was a pretty good match. So she was there, right there too. So that it's enough of that. So congratulations, Flip Gordon and Brittany. So right now, let's discuss the G1 right now. Alright, as we all know, the G1 is now getting closer to the end. So right now, let's just go. I'm not going to talk about the young lions because it's getting too exciting in the G1. First match of the A block, we have Jeff Cobb versus Tomohiro Ishii. Now, these are two of the heavy hitter competitors in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, you probably say, who would I vote for? To be honest with you, I'm a bit biased when it comes to these two. Reason is because they're, like I said, they're both heavy hitter wrestlers. But the one thing I was very curious to see is to see Jeff Cobb put Tomohiro Ishii in his finisher, a tour of the island. So that was like one of those matches because you hardly see big strong guys how they do their thing, but it was great. However, I wasn't sure how it is. I do know Tomohiro Ishii's what he's capable of. When he punches you, you know he expects you to punch back. He's always looking for that strong opponent who can take him out. He's been with guys like Minoru Suzuki, who else? Shingo Takagi, and many others. So I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but I'll tell you anyway. So the winner for this one is Jeff Cobb applying the Tour of the Islands on Tomohiro Ishii. I cannot believe it. It was a great match. I loved it. So surprising to see. Now the next match, this one was a very interesting one. This one was Bullet Club versus Bullet Club. The Tokyo Pimp himself, Yujiro Takahashi, versus the Switchblade, Jay White. Now, the interesting part of this match, Jay White didn't come out in his gear. That's what happened. Now, the initial assumption was that he was going to have Yujiro be just lying on the ground and allowing him just to take up the victory. It didn't turn out that way. You see, what happened is he did joke around with the ref, saying that, hold on. And then later, Yujiro just kicked out of nowhere like a bunch of times. And then all of a sudden, he gave him a low blow. Now, the initial assumption now is becoming, did Evil had something to do with this? Did Evil told Yujiro to ensure Jay White to loses the match? You see, this is not the first time where the leaders of Bullet Club turn on their own soldiers, their own faction, are being betrayed by one another. The reason this has happened is because it's not the first time. The Young Bucks cost Prince Devitt, aka Finn Balor, his match against Taguchi. Same thing with AJ Styles, uh, Kenny Omega, and now Jay White. There have been a fair share of deals of Bullet Club leadership. Even Jay White is starting to question what the hell is going on. He even questioned Geto, that he knew anything about this. He said he didn't. So could this be a sign that we're expecting a Bullet Club civil war between who takes control? The real question is, who will take the sides? That's something I will discuss at another time. So that way we can discuss that even better. Even I'll discuss that on the podcast when I get a chance. So, on the rest perspective right now, the winner of this match was Jay White, but he was not a happy camper with the results, how it ended. So, let's move on. Next match. This is one of those matches where who advanced, who will be out. Right now we had Taichi and Will Ospreay currently tied together. So this is the match where who will advance. Now, this, like I talked about many times over about Taichi, he's always been the guy who has improved a lot over the years, and this was his opportunity to advance even further since he entered the G1 this year and last year. But I wasn't sure. As for Will Ospreay, like I said, he's also one of those guys that came into this as a junior heavyweight, now going into heavyweight. But it's great. He tried to apply the Stormbreaker maybe 2 or 3 times on Taichi, but it was great the way he pulled it. I wasn't sure if he was able to make up the win against Taichi because Taichi's determined to advance. But unfortunately, it did not work where Will applied the Hidden Blade, then the Stormbreaker, and it's so great. So he advances into this tournament. Now, next match. This was one of my favorite ones for this one. Minoru Suzuki facing off against Kota Ibushi. I wasn't sure if Kota Ibushi was mentally prepared to face a guy like Minoru Suzuki. If you guys know Minoru Suzuki, you can see by the look of his eyes, he's going to break you in half, and that's what he's been known for. But Kota Ibushi wasn't going to give up that easily. But you know, for Minoru Suzuki, he likes to take a punch. He knows it. But it's great to see it. But however, the way this match ended was the most shocking, surprising thing ever. Minoru Suzuki lost. With a smile. Like, that's his expression. It's like he enjoys losing to the most toughest competitors on his life. He did this before. He even did it to Jon Moxley when he lost. It was so insane. I'm just surprised. So Kota Ibushi wins this match. Now the main event for the A block is Shingo Takagi versus the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. I knew for a fact that somehow this match was going to be the way I hoped for. It was so determined because Kazuchika Okada was the kind of guy who does not want to lose. He wants to reclaim what he lost. But however, he had to get to the one person in front of him at this point, and that's Takagi. And it was great, and it was amazing. But I wasn't sure if it's going to be the way I hoped for, but it did. It was Okada who picked up the victory. I was so impressed of this one. And he is amongst 4 of the other competitors who advanced in the G1. So there's 4 who are currently in. And that is Kota Ibushi, Jay White, Will Ospreay, and himself. So that basically the rest are out. And they advanced. However, the B block is a different story. So we're going to talk about that right about now. Okay, So the B block is now becoming interesting. Now, as you know, there's been now a lot of wrestlers. Tetsuya Naito, in the other hand, is the only one who has the higher points out of everyone. But the rest. Now, however, I did mention Yoshihashi could be the one to be eliminated, it turns out. So there's been a constant ties with certain wrestlers. So Tetsuya Naito most likely is the one who stays, who has the most amount of points. And as for Yoshihashi, well, he has the least at the moment, so that automatically means he's out. So it's already been confirmed by New Japan. So there's now wrestlers who has to advance no matter what to continue on. So right now, let's go with the first match. We got Yoshihashi versus Zack Sabre Jr. And as you know, like I said, Yoshihashi is out of the tournament. But however, I have to say he did put up his best fights ever. I mean, not only that, he has been pushed very wisely since he became 1/3 of the never openweight 6-man tag team champions. So I have to say I give him props for that. But for him to face an opponent like Zack Sabre Jr., that's a different story. You all know Zack Sabre Jr., he is a submission specialist. That's why they call him the technical wizard, because he, in the other hand, can try to put you in a submission without even you thinking he's going to put you in one. I've seen it before on countless occasions, but of course, that's what happened. He was Yoshihashi was put in a submission by Zack Sabre Jr., so he tap out, and he's out. And Zack Sabre Jr. advances. I don't know if he is amongst those who will advance further, like Tetsuya Naito. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll review that in the point system in a little bit. Next match, we have, very interesting one. Toru Yano versus Kenta. Now, we all know what Toru Yano is capable of. He's been one of those guys that's been trying to cheat his way through by using his tricks. He had 2 tapes inside his pants. And Kenta, on the other hand, tried to play his game by using the briefcase that contained the contract to the IWGP United States Championship. So basically, they're both been tricked. It was like the whole thing was a very, very tricksy. Even what's his name? Toru Yano sprayed water at him when he knew he failed to put him in tape. And they did the same thing with the ref. They've been going back and forth at this. You know, it's so hilarious. But however, Kenta wasn't through. When the referee was out, apparently what happened is Kenta took Toru Yano out in the entranceway of the ramp. He knocks him with the briefcase that contained, it contained tape. The same kind of tape that Toru Yano's when he ties someone up in the bar, and he did that. And Kenta used Toru Yano's trick on him. So basically, he got away by playing Yano's game. Now, Kenta, I've never seen him do this before. He's mostly the kind of guy who just knocks you out or puts you to sleep. That's who he is. And this is the first time he actually played Yano's game. So, I'm surprised. So, Kenta wins the match. However, I don't know if he'll be one of the few that will advance further. Next match, we have Sonata versus Juice Robinson. Now, this is one of those matches where it's like I said, there's still those who are tied and they have to advance. If you don't advance, then you're out. I'm trying to remember if Sonata's amongst those that has to advance or cannot. Same thing with Juice. But it was a good match. I'm not going to lie about it. It was so good. I love Sonata. I've always have been a fan. So he picks up the victory on this one. Next match, we have Hiroki Goto versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Now, this is one of those matches you know for sure is going to be good because Goto, much like Ishii, is a strong wrestler. Tanahashi is the ace of New Japan, and it's so amazing to see this match. I like this one. It was one of the good ones too in this one for the night. And of course, the match ended with Goto winning the match. I'm not sure what this is lead for both. I'm trying to find more information who will lead, who will be advancing other than alongside with Tetsuya Naito. Now, the main event, this one is more of a revenge match between Evil along with Master Spoiler Dick Togo against our champion Tetsuya Naito. This is now one of those matches where Evil is determined to beat Naito and reclaim what was taken from him. If you all don't recall what I'm referring to, let's go back to months ago when New Japan came back. New Japan held their annual New Japan Cup, and apparently what happened after that, Evil became the winner, and however, he betrayed Naito by defecting to Bullet Club and having Dick Togo, who dressed up as Bushi in a mask, costing Naito the double championships. So basically, this is payback, but Evil is determined to win. Much of the entire match, it seems like it was going both ways, but when Evil knew he couldn't do it, so he had his insurance policy, Dick Togo, try to distract the referee as much as possible, try to choke him out. But however, it wasn't enough. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Evil won. So basically, he won the match and he's very satisfied. But however, we don't know exactly the outcome. Now, I did mention a few times, if Tetsuya Naito advances all the way and wins the G1 as the champion, he has the right to pick his opponent. And the way I see it, the one opponent I know for sure he's not going to pick is Evil. Even though Evil will not like that. I think that's it for now for the B block. Let's talk about the point system right about now. Alright, so we're getting to the point system right now to see who most likely advanced, who is out of the tournament. So let's start with the A block. We have Kota Ibushi with 5 wins and 2 losses with the total points of 10. So automatically he stays, he has the most points. We have Jeff Cobb with 3 wins, 4 losses with total 6. He most likely be out. Kazuchika Okada, 5 wins, 2 losses with the total points of 10. So he stays. Tomohiro Ishii, 3 wins, 4 losses with total points of 6. So he's out. Shingo Takagi, 3 wins, 4 losses with total points of 6, so he's out. I skipped one. Will Ospreay, 5 wins, 2 losses with the total points of 10, so he's still in it. Minoru Suzuki, 3 wins, 4 losses with total points of 6, so he's out. Then we have Jay White with 5 wins and 2 losses, so he has 10 points, so he's still in. So we have, oh yeah, and there's Yujiro Takahashi, no wins but all losses, so that means he already automatically he's out. So in retrospective, Kota Ibushi, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, and Jay White are the only 4 competitors that most likely have the amount of points, 10 points. So far, rest have around 6, unlike Yujiro, who has 0. So you can say that's kind of mean. I'm like, yeah, but it is what it is. Sorry, Yujiro. I mean, I like your Tokyo Pimp, all that, but you didn't get the points. But so these are the 4 most likely competitors that will advance further. But however, the B block is a different story. So let's review the points on that one. Yujiro Takahashi, 3 wins, 4 losses with the total points of 6. So that means he most likely be out. Juice Robinson, 3 wins, 4 losses, total points of 6. He most likely be out. Hiroki Goto, 4 wins, 3 losses. He may or may not be out, so that depends on how they're going to advance. So he most likely be on the border of advancing or not. So that's the kind of tricky part. Toru Yano, 3 wins, 4 losses with total points of 6, so he's definitely out. Yoshihashi, 1 win, 6 losses with total points of 2, so he is already automatically out. Tetsuya Naito, 5 wins and 2 losses with total points of 10, so he is definitely in, so he's already advancing. Sanada, 4 wins, 3 losses with total points of 8. So he most likely be on the border, much like Hiroki Goto. Zack Sabre Jr. 4 wins, 3 losses with total points of 8, so he's amongst those. And then we have Kenta with 6 points with the stats of 3 wins and 4 losses, so he most likely be out. And then there's Evil with the total points of 10 points with 5 wins and 2 losses, so he and Tetsuya Naito most likely be advanced. But however the situation is, the way I see it, I have Goto, Zack Sabre Jr., and Sanada, each of them with total points of 8. So how do you divide that? So basically they might have to continue on with the matches or do something, because the way it goes that they have to advance even further. It's a little bit tricky, or however they might have to put one person, the most likely, who can get points but not make it. That's how it works. But we just got to wait and see for the upcoming G1 events that's going to take place. So if you guys enjoy this review with me on the G1 Climax 30, there will be more of it coming soon. So right now, today is Monday. There is no G1 until tomorrow, the 13th of October. So today is the 12th. So I'm going to enjoy having a day relaxed, but also editing this video for you guys and upload it. So but tomorrow I will try to do the Tuesday Wrestling and the upcoming Wednesday Night War that will take place soon. So for now, I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.